What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Now, yeah, we all know, Bitcoin's crashing today. All coins are crashing today. Well, yeah, I'm sure everybody that's watching already knows this. So, yeah, we're gonna discuss that. We're gonna discuss some possible trading opportunities, and, despite all the bearishness, a few possible bullish signs that I may have found, as well as some interesting news stories. But before we get into that, if at any point you enjoy this video, please consider hitting a like, hitting subscribe, and turning on post notifications so you can always be here as soon as I upload my videos, and it really supports my channel. As always, guys, I appreciate it. So let's talk about Bitcoin first. Now, I guess I'll just go over all the bearish signs. You guys already know about the possible massive bear flag that we're forming here in between this range and the pole being the top. Up here, we're not going to discuss that. We have on the daily time frame a 20 on a -5 for the bear side. We had printed a green dot down on the momentum wave, but now we printed a red dot right before this candle right here. And the daily volume has now taken another turn to the downside and is actually lower than the previous wave right here. If you zoom in, you can see that right there. And finally, on the daily, the RSIs that were starting to look bullish are now looking bearish again. So, yeah, all great news if you're a bear, I suppose. So, real quick, one bullish sign that I wanted to point out on Bitcoin is this bullish divergence on the 1 hour time frame. You can see right here, momentum waves increasing, price decreasing. So that is really the only hopeful sign I can find right now. Even the VWAP on the 1 hour is not looking good. The RSIs on the 1 hour are not looking good. They're actually overbought still. And another thing I want to point out, this is some interesting price action on the 1 hour. Stair step up, stair step down. Screaming manipulation, just saying. Okay, so moving over to Ethereum, we do have the bullish divergence on the 1 hour here as well. However, this is perhaps a even more significant indicator right here. Tested it as support twice, broke through, came back up, tested it as resistance, twice, and now it's looking like we're breaking down. So this right here is the trading opportunity I was talking about. Typically when you break through resistance like this, come back up, test that resistance as support, usually means we're going to break down to the next significant support and resistance level. Now, does it have to? No, it does not have to break all the way down there, especially since we do have a bullish divergence here. And if you were looking for a trade opportunities where you would go for the smaller time frames here, and we actually have a bit of a bullish divergence here too. Price bottoming out at the same level while having an increase in the momentum waves. So I would watch to see what happens the next time we come up to this resistance line again. If we bounce, maybe if you're an experienced trader like myself, I would possibly put in a short right there and set my stop loss right above this resistance line. Could be a nice trading opportunity. However, if we're able to break up above it and then come back and test it as support, then that theory is void, and then who knows what's going to happen after that. So something to look out for. One more concerning thing I'll point out for Ethereum. I talked about this large green dot we got down here, and it has now been followed up by a red dot right next to it, as well as the money flow indicator dipping into the negative on the daily. And I know everybody calls manipulation every time something happens that they don't want to happen. This is manipulation of people's minds. If you're selling your Ethereum right now because you're scared, you either bought it too late or their FUD tactics are working on you. You should be more scared to sell your Ethereum than to not sell your Ethereum, is what I would say. Things can only be bearish for so long. Let's just say that. Okay. Let's move off of the charts because the charts are depressing me. And let's move over to some news stories, which hopefully will make me feel better. Asset managers suddenly become Bitcoin bulls at the CME. With Bitcoin's prices briefly dipping below 30,000 on Tuesday, and various investors seeing a downside to possibly to 20,000, a growing number of asset managers have begun betting on a short-term rise on the cryptocurrency at the CME. The latest CFTC data for June 15th shows asset managers having 517 long Bitcoin futures contracts, which bet on the rise in Bitcoin's price, a 35% increase over the previous week. The last time asset managers had more than 500 longs for futures contracts was in Q4 of 2020, when Bitcoin's price initiated a string of record highs. The growth in bullish bets has been so sudden that this group is almost back to a net neutral position, despite being heavily bearish over the last few months. For context, this group was the first to slowly start shorting the asset back in late January at the exchange as Bitcoin raced past 35,000. They became net short on February 23rd following a tumble in Bitcoin's price from 58.4 to 44.9, and stayed that way as Bitcoin lost 50% of its value. And looking here, you can see the CME futures bets. So there's more longs than there have been since December of 2020, but there's still a pretty good amount of shorts, 629, which is more than there was in the beginning of June, is more than there was towards the end of April, so just more conflicting data here, I suppose. First, it is worth noting that the asset managers as a group have some unique investment traits. They do not show the always long or always short behavior of other market participants, making them more opportunistic and often contrarian traders, especially in highly cyclical industries. After Bitcoin had its record high of 64.9 on April 14th, asset managers were quick to boost their short positions and profited handsomely as Bitcoin corrected all the way to 30,000. Additionally, this transaction comes at a welcome time for the market as hedge funds, corporations, and retail traders have decreased of late their crypto future exposure by about a third since the start of the year. Having a diverse set of participants adds to the health of a derivatives market. So less people are investing in CME Bitcoin futures. Maybe it's because they realize they should be owning the assets they're investing in rather than investing in a derivatives form of it. But I don't know. I'd like to think people are that smart, but I don't know. I don't know sometimes. Okay, so yeah, maybe the asset managers see something that everybody else doesn't see. Maybe not. We'll just have to see how everything plays out. On to the next story. Why crypto will likely go crazy again in July. Sorry guys, this is a really fuddy news story, so I gotta be extra dramatic in this one. Fuck off, ads. Okay, it has been one hell of a month for cryptocurrency investors. Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, they've all taken it on the chin, and investors are rightfully exhausted. They're not likely to get a lot of rest next month. Mr. Muskie Man and Jack Dorsey, two of the biggest online influencers when it comes to digital currencies, will discuss Bitcoin in front of an audience on July 21st in a conference. Dorsey announced the conference called the B Word Thursday evening, and Musk jumped into the conversation via Twitter. Dorsey continued the exchange. You can read it all below for yourself, and eventually Muskie agreed to a conversation at the event, and a panel was set up Friday morning. So yeah, here's their very intelligent conversation, if you would wish to read that. Mr. Muskie Man, Mr. Musk. Dorsey has been a long-time Bitcoin backer, especially via Square, in February. After Bitcoin price had tumbled, all it took for a strong rally was news that Square had bought $170 million worth of the cryptocurrency. In 2018, he boldly predicted that Bitcoin would be a world currency within 10 years. Muskie, meanwhile, has the preternatural ability to move crypto markets with the vaguest of tweets. Or he has the money to pay for some of the best technical analysis, charting people out there, and then can use his tweets as a disguise for corrections that were already meant to happen, as well as manipulation in the market from his billionaire friends. Another possibility. Dogecoin's rise and subsequent fall can, in large part, be credited to his off-the-cuff comments, and Bitcoin's fall from grace earlier this year was due in part to his tweet about Tesla no longer accepting the crypto for car purchases. So yeah, it was because you can't buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, not because this market cycle was way ahead of schedule, way overextended. We pumped up way too fast. If you compare the market cycles side by side from the bottoms or from the halving events, you can see that either way, this cycle that we're in right now has been quicker than the previous cycle, which goes against everything in Bitcoin's history, because we've had 3 bull cycles, and so far every single one of them has taken longer than the previous. If I can, I'll pull up a picture here. If I remember, I'll put a picture right here on the screen. And now we have corrected right back to the spot where we should be in this market cycle. So yeah, it was definitely because people couldn't buy Teslas with Bitcoin, not because the market was overextended and needed a correction. Depending on the scope of the conversation or the comments or even jokes of either participant, prices of Bitcoin and other cryptos could see even more volatility. Even more volatility. Volatility is the trait that makes it possible for us to make substantial gains in this crypto market. If it weren't for volatility, we wouldn't be able to put in our shitty fiat currency and pull out 10 times the amount of shitty fiat currency that we put in, or maybe even 100 times, if you're good at timing these volatile markets. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this conference is going to bring even more FUD. You can smell the musky FUD radiating off of this news article in front of me. But, hey, maybe it comes at a good time. Musky Man seems to have good timing in these markets. He seems to have people alongside him that know what is going to happen pretty confidently in these markets. And I know a lot of people are expecting the middle of July to be a crucial turnaround point where we are expecting and or hoping that we can begin a bull trend again. Like I said, watch for a reaction off of this support and resistance line. If we're able to break through it and hold it as support, that's good. If we're not able, then that is then it's shorts weather. Let's say it's shorts weather if it gets rejected there, okay? Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like, hitting subscribe, turning on my post notifications. I really appreciate the support, everybody. I've been steadily gaining subscribers for the past couple days, so, you know, it feels like all this work I'm putting in is for something at this point. I know there are some real people, not just bots, listening to me. So you there, I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow for my next video. Peace out.